Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Inside Golf. I'm Harry Donahue. Today at John F. Byrne in Northeast Philadelphia. Byrne is the home of the First Tee program of Philadelphia, and over the last few years, this place has taken on a major restoration. I mean, if you haven't been to Byrne in the last 2 or 3 years, you probably wouldn't recognize the clubhouse as well as the golf course. And today, it's a special day for John F. Byrne and the First Tee. Today, they are honoring the memory and legacy of Bob Sheppard. They have opened up here at Byrne a simulator room, and it's named in honor of Bob. He was a great teacher, in addition to being a heck of a good friend and overall great guy. He was a contributor to Inside Golf for years. Bob was part of our Teed Off segments when he would tell stories, give some tips, and just be Bob Sheppard being Bob Sheppard. Well, today, his memory, his legacy is being honored here at John F. Byrne with the simulator room at the headquarters of the First Tee of Philadelphia. There's nobody more than Bob Sheppard who would have loved to have been here and give lessons to the youngsters in the First Tee program. But the next best thing is the Bob Sheppard Simulator Room. It's going to get a lot of use. We'll talk to his family. We'll talk to the fellows from the First Tee program of Philadelphia. And we'll talk to friends of Bob Sheppard, some of whom have known him since back when they were 7 years old. It's coming up next here on Inside Golf. The 25th season of Inside Golf is presented by Destination Montco Golf. Your next golf getaway is in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. Visit montcogolf.com. By the First Tee Greater Philadelphia. The First Tee not only helps young men and women become better golfers, but most important, better people. Get involved. Visit firstteephiladelphia.org. By the Philadelphia Association of Golf Course Superintendents, a community of professionals enhancing the game of golf since 1925. Make sure you thank your golf course superintendent today. By Gap, celebrating 125 years of amateur golf. By Jersey Man and Philly Man Magazine, a digital publication and private business network. Read the current issue free at jerseymanmagazine.com. By the Haverford Trust Company. For life's must-haves, there's Haverford. And by Inside Golf's partner since 1998, the Philadelphia PGA section, the experts in the game and business of golf.
Golf is the great equalizer. For many, this journey is an escape from reality, a chance to be part of a team, a career opportunity. PGA Reach impacts lives through golf by lifting people up, giving them hope, and sending them down an alternate path that they never saw coming. With PGA Reach Philadelphia, as in life and in golf, the most important shot you take is the next one.
Welcome back to Inside Golf. Here we are at John F. Byrne in Northeast Philadelphia, the home of the First Tee program of Greater Philadelphia, and now the home of the Bob Sheppard Simulator, named in honor of our good friend, just about everybody's good friend in Philadelphia area golf, Mr. Bob Sheppard, who left us way too early about a year and a half ago. Mike Brown is the president of the First Tee of Greater Philadelphia. Executive director is Bill Hyman V. A.K.O. King, A.K.A. King. You don't mind if I say that, do you?
It's all right, Harry.
I know. Hey, listen, let's talk. You know, you go back, Brownie, to knowing about Bob Sheppard probably when you were growing up across the street from Walnut Lane. Bob Sheppard was well into being a legend. You played with one of his Temple teammates, Gary Dietzkrieg, later on. What are your memories of Bob Sheppard?
He always had a smile on his face. He was a guy that when you walked in the room, you knew he was there. But ultimately, he was a guy that cared about everybody, had a good time, didn't worry about himself, always worried about everybody else.
Right, and he was really happy, I think, to know about the First Tee, and it was in the hands of a Hyman. Bobby probably competed against your grandfather, Bill, and, Shep could hold his own, probably not against your grandfather, Billy, but now that you have a simulator room named in honor of Bob Sheppard, what would Bob Sheppard think about this whole setup here?
Well, I think Bob would be looking down, smiling on us, and I was most amazed at Bob's courageousness, but most importantly, his sense of humor. So I think with our simulator complex, we're going to have many kids and also public golfers learn the game of golf, but they're also going to learn kind of the art of interpersonal skills. I think that Shep's sense of humor and how he dealt with life and people is what you learn from the game of golf, and it's what we want our kids to learn from the game of golf.
Sure, and I hope they take the time to just look up at that little memento, the photograph of Bob right there in the simulator room, and realize what he meant, not just to golf in Philadelphia, but the golfers and those trying to learn the game like they are. And of course, here you got a big anniversary coming up with the first tee. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so our organization has been around for 40 years, but the first tee chapter here in Philadelphia has been around for 20 years. So we're very excited that we're celebrating our 20th anniversary. And a lot of organizations aren't around for the tenure that we are. And the good news is, with the help that we receive from the public to help fund all that we do, we've got a long way to go, and we're just getting started helping kids turn into great golfers, but better people.
Absolutely, and you haven't been to John F. Byrne in, say, 2 years. You owe yourself a trip, maybe not just to play, Mike Brown, but just to take a look at what you've done here.
Well, it's amazing. You got to give credit to Joe, our superintendent, who, when you talk to other people and they come back and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe what great shape it is. And an indication is we're going to go from playing 11,000 rounds 3 years ago, we're going to play over 30,000 rounds this year. And let me tell you, that's a testament to what the people here, when the people in the community come here, they feel like this is their private club. It makes them feel warm and welcome. And the thing we did here, if you look at it, we've been open now for 9 months. It still looks brand new. The community has embraced this. And you know what? The kids have embraced it too. So we're very excited about having this showpiece that brings more kids in, makes them feel comfortable. And as we say, it's a safe haven for kids after school. They know nothing's going to happen to them when they're playing golf.
And you know who would appreciate that more than anybody, guys? Bob Shepard. We're assembled now with members of Bob's family, including his wife, Diane. Thanks for taking time out, Diane, but pretty special day for you and the family.
Special, very, very special.
Let me ask you, let me take you back. When you first met Bob Shepard, how long did it take for you to realize just how popular this guy was?
The day I met him, I realized how popular he was.
Really?
He knew everyone, and everyone knew him.
Was he like able to handle all the popularity? I mean, he always had he always had a joke. He always had a twinkle in his eye. But I mean, how did he handle that?
From the time he was a toddler, I don't think he had a problem with people. He was just very outgoing. I don't know.
He was a natural. Let me ask you this. Now, he gave lessons to practically everybody, right? That may be overstated, but I'm not sure it's overstated by too much. But did he give you any lessons in the game of golf?
Yeah, he did give me lessons. I started to play when I was younger, and then I gave it up when I was 16. And then when I met Bob, I started to play again, and he gave me lessons. He gave my family lessons. Yeah.
Did it help you?
Yes. Yes, it did. It did. It knocked my score down by a couple. I mean,
He was patient?
I think I broke 100 a couple of times.
Okay.
Let's put it that way.
He didn't brag about that probably.
No,
but.
he did not.
Now you've got, 4 grandchildren here, a couple daughters, their husbands, so it's a family affair. Let me bring one of those sons-in-law in here. This is Adam Derringer? Adam Derringer. Okay, Adam. What was special in your relationship with your father-in-law, Bob Shepard?
He was just an incredibly nice person. I understand how he took up teaching golf because he was just so patient with everybody. It didn't matter what your skill level was. He just loved the game, and more importantly, he loved everyone learning the game. He was just always happy, always smiling, and everyone just knew him that way.
Yeah, he made it fun. Now, this is one of your grandchildren, right, Diane?
Mm-hmm.
Who
Yep,
would this
Carson.
be?
This is
Carson, let me get a little closer here. Yeah, whoops. Don't screen out your grandma. Carson, you play high school golf now.
Yeah.
Where's that?
Harrison High School.
Harrison High School. Did your grandfather give you a tip or two?
Yeah, all the tips. And
What was the most beneficial tip he ever gave
Don't
you?
watch my dad swing.
Real? Now wait a minute. But did you realize how good a teacher your grandfather was? Or yeah?
Yeah, he was like one of the best in town.
All right. I bet every time you step on a golf tee, you're going to think about one guy in particular, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he'd be proud of you, as he is of all of you folks. And we certainly are glad that we had a chance to meet you. Good luck with your golf career. And, well, here they are, the Sheppard family, celebrating the legacy of Bob Sheppard.
Do you think this Valley Forge vacation was your idea? We would be trolling us the whole time. This racing game is great, but nothing beats the real thing.
That sloth you think I love so much gets me a free trip to the zoo.
They don't know they're hungry yet, but I do. I'm starving!
Charlie, Charlie! Works every time.
Just wait until you see what I plan for the next trip. Visit Valley Forge, where kids make the rules.
At what point did you think that maybe a professional career would be something you'd like to pursue?
It's an attrition. You take your time with it, but you never really know that's where you're going until you get there. So it's a mystical existence, really. Golf is, and as we were just saying too, I mean, these walls are full of people that today's generation don't even know. They don't know the names or what they did or what they've achieved. Atlantic City was a big part of life in any pro's existence in Philadelphia. This is the place.
I am now privileged to have with me three gentlemen, two of whom played at Temple University on the golf team with Bob Sheppard, and another who knew Shep probably as well as these fellows did, if not just about everybody who Bobby came in contact. This is Art Jacoby, and Art played at Temple with Bobby way back. Tommy Mastroni in the middle did the same thing, and Frank Schumann. Frank, you've known Bobby how many years and took many lessons off of Bobby Sheppard?
I've known Bob for 30 years, and Bob reintroduced me to the game of golf, and he picked up my swing because Jack McKenzie originally taught me how to play golf.
That was at Sandy Run.
That was at Sandy Run.
Where Bob himself possibly learned everything there was to know about the game of golf.
Tom.
That's right, Tommy.
They had a junior program under Jack McKenzie there that was second to none in the Philadelphia area for sure.
Tommy, tell me about those. You guys were kids. How old were you when you first met Bobby Sheppard?
I met Bobby at the age of 7, so I've known him for about 64 years. Teammates.
Bobby Sheppard was as close to a legend when he was growing up as probably anybody. Did he earn that title?
He did.
In many ways.
In many ways. When you went to the driving range, there were 2 players out of maybe if you had 20 hitting balls that had that sound of the golf club hitting the golf ball. One was Eric Stevenson and the other was Bobby. And Bobby just made a sound with the golf ball and the club that you just turned and looked. Who was that?
Now, you played with Shep with Temple, but did you know him before that?
We came in contact with each other playing some junior tournaments and whatever, but I really got to know him the year that I played with him at Temple, and this guy and David Brookerson, and we had an amazing amount of fun.
He never lost his zest for the game, did he? Even the last few years when he was saddled with some medical issues.
Yeah, no, he truly was an ambassador of the game, and until his last days. I mean, he was an amazing guy.
Frank, what did he mean, do you think, not just among people that had lessons from him, but people that knew of Bob Sheppard? What will his legacy be?
Oh, I think Bob just introduced everybody to the game of golf and taught them how to enjoy the game. I'll never forget the one thing he told me was, best place to play golf is where your friends are.
How about that? How about that? And he had a lot of friends, Tommy. Was there one golf memory you could share with us? I mean, from either as a youngster, hitting the ball as far as he did at Sandy Run, or later on in college at Temple. Maybe, I'm sure you got more than one, but what comes first to your mind?
Well, there's a couple at Temple that I can't tell. But I think the one thing that Bobby probably was the first person I've ever seen tee up a golf ball on a tee. If you watch the professionals today, they all want to have a high launch, and they get a tee as big as they can get. Well, 45, 50 years ago, Shep was putting it with a persimmon club on a pencil. to get that high launch.
Wow, how about that?
With a wooden club and balata balls and
a pencil.
And a pencil.
You know, that said it all. Technology now has come so far, both in equipment and teaching with TrackMan and everything else, and video lessons, simulators. It's funny, Bob would kind of feel, I don't know, should I say a little awkward having a simulator named after him? What do you think, Art?
It's not exactly what he would have in mind, but on the other hand, I think he'd be thrilled with the amount of young people that will be exposed to the game through this simulator.
There's no doubt about that. He loved exposing the game, not just to older generations, but to that younger generation. I think
his passion was teaching beginners. He really enjoyed that more than anything, especially kids.
Gentlemen, thank you. Friends of Bob Sheppard, Frank Schumann, Tom Mastroni, and Art Jacoby. And by the way, Art, thanks for organizing this little event to honor Bob Sheppard.
Couldn't happen to a better guy.
I like some personality in all of the holes. I want it to be a fun challenge that keeps your attention all day and lives up to what it's trying to be.
Welcome back. Inside Golf continues from the back deck here at Lulu Country Club in Upper Dublin, Pennsylvania, Montgomery County. And it's always a pleasure to be back here at Lulu, especially on a golf perfect day like it is today. We have Joe Bausch. Now, Joe is not a new addition to Inside Golf. He's been on the show before. But Joe, his day job, by the way, is a professor of chemistry at Villanova University. And here he is today, gracing us with his presence because in addition to his day job, he loves to talk and play the game of golf. And he is also the originator of the Bausch Collection, which is a photo gallery, close to 700 different photographs, golf courses, whatever, goes to make up the Bausch Collection. And the Bausch Archives, golf articles written years ago. You know, golf doesn't get covered, Joe, like it used to, especially in the printed word, newspapers and whatever, locally. But people can go back and read about a lot of it thanks to your archive. So welcome to Teed Off, and welcome back to Inside Golf.
Thank you, Harry.
Jim Sullivan, he's here every week, it seems. Sometimes twice a week.
Say that every time, Harry.
But Jim Sullivan is a member of Lulu, and he's a big deal, so we have to have him on the show when we come here. And my friend Joe Logan, myphillygolf.com, and you also have on myphillygolf.com all the stuff we just talked about.
Where you can find him on myphillygolf.com.
So the two Joes teaming up. Let's start, Joe, with you. You know, there are a lot of different types of golf courses, no matter where you go, but especially in the Philadelphia area. So the question is, if somebody likes a particular type of golf course, why is that, do you think? And that's probably an individual thing, because you may like it and Jim may not. But what makes you either like or not like a golf course?
Well, Harry, I've answered this question many times. I've never played a bad golf course. If you're out on the golf course, your life is good.
Okay.
Give me a preference. My last 2 rounds that I've played yesterday was at Phoenixville, and on Sunday I played McCall. Both of those are classic golf courses, easy to walk, built before, say, 1930, when earth-moving equipment began to really have its presence felt. And that's the type of golf course that I prefer to play.
Okay. How about you, Sully? You've certainly gotten around, and what to you makes a golf course more enjoyable, likable, whatever?
You know, the easy to walk is a big thing. I enjoy walking when I play, whether it's with a caddy or carrying my own bag, exponentially more than playing in a cart. So that eliminates a lot of golf courses. You know, the older courses seem to sort of sit better in the land, and maybe that's just because they've survived 70, 80, 100 years. But kind of the natural look and flow and feel of a course. And then, you know, as you're playing, if the ground is firm and the ball's bouncing a little bit, that makes the rounds way more enjoyable for me than, you know, when it's real wet and sloppy and the ball stops kind of right where it lands.
Joe, golf course design has changed. It's always, you know, kind of like morphing into something else. But the tendencies today among some of the more contemporary golf courses is to have greens that are probably 3 or 4 times, literally, the size that they were building greens back in the 20s and 30s, A lot of that has to do with just the land. A lot of it has to do with equipment and the way greens are maintained today versus the way they were maintained then. But what, for you, are some of the criteria for making or not making a golf course enjoyable?
Like these guys, I like all kinds of courses, parkland courses, mountain courses, desert courses, beach courses. For me, the biggest barometer has always been, is this course living up to what it's trying to be? And by that I mean, like when I used to write golf course reviews for the Inquirer years ago, I found it impossible to judge a $40 daily fee course by the same standards that you would judge a $250 resort course. They're trying to be two different things. How good a job are they doing? You know, you expect more from a club or a course where you're paying $150 or $200 for a round than you do from some place that's 40. That said, good conditioning. Is it a welcoming place? I like some personality in all of the holes. They don't have to be overly hard. I don't want it to beat me up. I want it to be a fun challenge that keeps your attention all day and lives up to what it's trying to be or sell itself as.
You know, I used to say, Joe, golf course was good if I could remember every hole after I played it after the first time. Now I'm getting older, so I don't remember what I had, you know, that morning at breakfast by the time it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon sometimes. Shall I say one of the things you consider, like how much do I remember of this golf course after playing it?
I think it is. I got into golf course architecture in, I think, about 2007. That was when Inniscrone, which started kind of with a big bang as a private course in this area that then transitioned to a public course. And so I got access to go play it, obviously, as a public course, and played it. And there was some really edgy stuff there that Gil Hans designed, which I thought was interesting. And then later, I started recounting the round, and I could remember every hole in sequence beautifully. And I think that's easier to do when you're walking a golf course and when a golf course is on sort of a compact piece of land and it's routed well.
Yeah.
And that goes into why I like the types of courses that I do.
How about along those same lines, when you finish playing, now my memory is about where yours probably is, Harry, so I'm not going to often remember every hole, but how about when you walk off the 18th green, if you'd like to go right back to the first hole and continue playing? That's kind of my bar of, did I enjoy the day? Doesn't have, and that kind of carries over the $250. If I paid $250 and I loved every minute of it, pay it again. And if I paid $40 and love every minute of it, and want to go do it again, I think that's a good bar as well as the others.
Yeah, so price has nothing, not as much as you would think to do with it. We're here at Lulu, Donald Ross designed back in what, 20s or before? 1912. When he was designing a lot of golf courses. Would this pass the test? If this didn't have the name Donald Ross on it, do you think would it pass the test as being some place that you would like?
This place is has really moved up in the pecking order of courses in town in the last 10 or 15 years, as if they've taken it over. It went from being on the doorstep of a dead club. Now it's, look at, we're in a brand new clubhouse. The course is in better shape. It's flourishing now in ways that it wasn't. The fact that it is a Donald Ross design, or at least much of the course is, helps it in many, many ways because, you know, with a pedigree like that, it's good stuff.
How about, he just mentioned something, the new clubhouse here at Lulu, for instance, 3 or 4 years old. Does that matter to you when you go out to play a place, the amenities in addition to the 18 holes of golf?
It helps, but it's not a requirement really at all. For me, it's the golf course.
You can change your shoes in a parking lot and not worry about it as long as they have 18 inches.
This is beautiful. I get it. It's a private club. This is part of the private club experience. But when they were operating here out of a trailer down at the corner, that didn't change my opinion of the golf course. It didn't change my opinion of Lulu.
Gotcha. Gentlemen, thank you. We'll be back. More of Inside Golf in just a moment. Designed by Donald Ross, Lulu Country Club is one of the premier private golf courses in Montgomery County. This classic 18-hole course boasts a new state-of-the-art clubhouse with many amenities for members to enjoy. Members are invited to play in events, tournaments, and enjoy guest privileges. For more information, contact membership at lulucc.com. The oldest state or regional golf association in the country hits a milestone this year. GAP celebrates its 125th birthday. Celebrating amateur golf since 1897, GAP has evolved to include 300-plus member clubs, more than 90,000 individual members. It offers events for males and females of all ages and ability levels. GAP continues to uphold its mission to preserve, protect, and promote the game of golf. Happy birthday, GAP.
While most drivers spend their lives going from point A to B, in America, we're all about point X. That's why our most versatile BMW X-Range vehicles are proudly manufactured right here in Spartanburg, South Carolina. The BMW X-Range, your next X-Venture, starts here. Hurry in to lease a 2023 BMW X5 X-Drive 40i for $879 per month.
That's going to do it for this week's edition of Inside Golf. So happy we could be here today at John F. Byrne for the dedication of the Bob Sheppard Simulator Room. Bob was a great teacher, and his legacy will continue here with the First Tee program at John F. Byrne, thanks to the Bob Sheppard Simulator. Our thanks to his family, to the First Tee folks, and also friends of Bob Sheppard who honored his memory today. I'm Harry Donahue. See you next week here on Inside Golf. The 25th season of Inside Golf is presented by Destination Montco Golf. Your next golf getaway is in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. Visit montcogolf.com. By the First Tee Greater Philadelphia. The First Tee not only helps young men and women become better golfers, but most important, better people. Get involved. Visit firstteephiladelphia.org. By the Philadelphia Association of Golf Course Superintendents, a community of professionals enhancing the game of golf since 1925. Make sure you thank your golf course superintendent today. By GAP, celebrating 125 years of amateur golf. By Jersey Man and Philly Man Magazine, a digital publication and private business network. Read the current issue free at jerseymanmagazine.com. By the Haverford Trust Company. For life's must-haves, there's Haverford. And by Inside Golf's partner since 1998, the Philadelphia PGA Section, the experts in the game and business of golf.